Hello friends, welcome back to my channel that is of the series that is certified in the risk and information system control part 4 domain 3 that is the risk response and reporting. Friends, in this we'll be moving further ahead and we'll discuss about the part B of the risk response and reporting that is control design and implementation. Under this, will in the context of C-risk, the discussion on the control design and implementation is crucial to ensure that organizations have effective measures in place to manage and mitigate the risk associated with their information system. Right? Friends, under this, we'll move further ahead and we'll discuss about the control types, standards, and the framework. Friends, we all know that the control types refer to the various categories of control, right? That organizations can implement to manage risk. These may include preventive, detective, corrective, and definitely different type of controls, right? Moving further ahead, we'll discuss about the administrative, technical, and physical control. Friends, we all know that administrative control involve policies and the procedures, right? This includes roles and responsibilities, risk assessment, and security awareness training, right? Moving further ahead, we'll discuss about the technical control also in this whole slide videos. In technical control, friends, we are the implemented through technology solution, right? Such as access control, encryption, and intrusion detection system. And next, we'll discuss about the physical control. That the physical control which focuses on securing the physical environment, right? Including data center, equipment and facilities, and much more. At last, in this topic, we'll discuss about the capability maturity model. Friends, capability maturity model assess an organization's maturity level in terms of its process and the practices, right? Friends, in the context of C-risk, it helps organization to gauge their capability to manage and control the risk effectively, right? Moving further ahead, we'll discuss about the control design, selection and analysis. Friends, this process of control design involve creating and implementing controls tailored to an organization's specific risk and requirement, right? Friends, control selection involves choosing the most appropriate control based on the risk assessment, compliance requirement, and the organization objective. With this much of introduction, let's jump to our first topic that is about the control design and implementation. Right? Friends, in controlling design and implementation, in addressing risk, mitigation stands out as a prevalent strategy. Right? The efficacy of the control is crucial as they strive to reduce or maintain the risk at the acceptable level, right? Regular review and a balanced approach across the technical, administrative, and the physical controls are imperative, right? Next is about the mitigation as a common response. Friends, mitigation as a common response, it involves implementing controls to reduce or maintain the risk at the acceptable level, right? Friends, mitigation is the most common response to the risk, right? It involves implementing controls to reduce or maintain the risk at the acceptable level, right? Friends, mitigation is a big word that means taking actions to reduce or handle the risk. Let's take an example like imagine you are playing a game, right? And there is a risk of losing. So, to mitigate that risk, you might come up with a strategy or rule to make sure that you don't lose too badly, right? So, with this explanation, I hope that you have been able to understand what is the mitigation as a common response. Next point about the awareness of the control environment. Friends, this includes understanding the effectiveness of existing control, right? Friends, risk practitioner should be aware of the current control environment and the anticipate changes, right? So this includes understanding the effectiveness of existing control, right? In other words, we can say that the awareness of the control environment is similar to understanding control, right? So as we have discussed about the game only, let's just take an example so that we can able to make understand this point. Like in our game analogy, controls are the rules you set, right? For example, you might decide that if your opponents rolls a certain number, you can use a special move to protect yourself, right? But just like in real life, these rules can sometimes be not very well thought out, right? Next, next point about the in the control design implementation is a regular review of control, right? In this, the poorly maintained or unsuitable control may lead to an ineffective risk management strategy. Friends, control should be regularly reviewed to ensure their effectiveness, right? Poorly maintained or unsuitable control may lead to an ineffective risk management, right? It is just like checking your game plan regularly, right? So, if you find out that your special move does not work well anymore or the rules are outdated, you need to fix them. In the real world, it means making sure your strategies for handling the risk are still effective, right? Next, about the balancing technical, administrative, and the physical control. It includes evaluating the implementation and effectiveness of each control. Friends, a crucial aspect in verifying the correct balance between technical, administrative, and the physical control. This includes evaluating the implementation and effectiveness of each control, right? Let's understand it with the help of an example, right? Let's say you use a special power up in your game, right, to protect yourself. So to make it work, you need to train and remind yourself to use it at the right time, right? Friends, if you forget to train or use it incorrectly, the power up won't be helpful as it could be. Now, next word we have encountered is about the importance of administrative control, right? So let's take an example in the game in which administrative control would be like having a referee who makes sure everyone is playing by the rules, right? So if you don't have some overseeing the game, players might cheat or making the whole thing less working less fair, right? So in this whole video, to conclude it, we can say that in the real world, when dealing with the risk, it is not just about having tools or the rules. It's about making sure that they work together and they are regularly checked and are used correctly. Otherwise, you might think you are safe, but there could be a hidden problem that make things riskier than you thought, right? Move further ahead. Now we'll discuss about the control categories. Under the control categories, the first is the preventive control. In the preventive control, it inhibit or impede attempts to violate security policy and the practices. Second, encryption, user authentication, and the vault construction doors are example of the preventive control. Friends, this sentence outlines the purpose of preventive control in the context of security measures. It states that preventive controls are designed to inhibit or impede attempts to violate security policies and the practices. The example provided, including the encryption, user authentication, and the use of vault construction doors. Friends, in essence, preventive controls are implemented to proactively stop or limit unauthorized access or breaches by establishing barriers or deterrents. And the mentioned examples illustrate different methods employed to achieve this goal, right? Friends, encryption protects the data from unauthorized access. User authentication verifies the identity of the individual seeking access, and the vault constructions, right? Which will restrict entry to the secure areas, all contributing to the prevention of security violation, right? Moving next we'll discuss about the deterrent control. Friends, Under the deterrent control, it provides guidance or the warning that may dissuade intentional or unintentional attempt at compromise. Second, warning banners or login screens, acceptable use policies, security cameras, and the reward for the arrest of hackers are the example of deterrent control. Friends, this sentence explains the role of deterrent control in security measures. Friends, deterrent controls are intended to provide guidance or warning that discourage both intentional and unintentional attempt at compromise. Right? Examples of deterrent control include warning banners displayed on the login screen, or the establishment of acceptable use of policies, or the deployment of security cameras, and the offering of reward for the arrest of the hacker. These measures aim to create a deterrent effect, signaling potential threats and dissuading individuals from attempting to compromise security, either by making them aware of the consequences or by increasing the perceived risk of detection and punishment. Right? Moving next, we'll discuss about the next is the detective control. Friends, under detective control, first, it provides warning of violation or attempted violation of security policy and practices without inhibiting or impeding these actions. Second, audit trails, intrusion detection system, and checksums are the example of the detective control. Friends, this sentence describes a detective control in the context of security measure, right? Friends, detective controls serve to provide warnings or indications of violations or attempted violation of security policies and the practices without actively inhibiting or impeding these actions. Friends, example of detective control include audit trails, intrusion detection systems, and checksums. These measures focus on monitoring and detecting anomalies or suspicious activities, allowing for the identification of potential security breaches. Friends, unlike preventive control that aim to stop incident, detective control function to alert and inform, facilitating a rapid response to the security threat or the breaches. Right? Moving next we'll discuss about the compensating control. Friends, compensating control address deficiencies in an enterprise control structure, countering limitations in baseline control due to technical or the business constraint. Friends, this sentence describes the compensating control as a measure that counterbalance deficiency or weaknesses in the control structure of an enterprise. These compensating controls are typically implemented when the baseline control are unable to meet a specific requirement due to legitimate technical or the business constraint. Friends, the example provide include isolating unsecured system on the network segment with robust perimeter security and incorporating third-party challenge response mechanism for device lacking individual logging account. Right? Friends, while compensating control may not directly address the vulnerability, they are designed to make it more challenging for potential exploits. Right? Essentially, these controls provide an alternative approach to enhance security in situations where the standard controls may be insufficient or impractical. Right? At last, we'll discuss in the control categories, we'll discuss about the corrective control. Corrective control states first that remediate errors, omissions, unauthorized uses, and intrusions when detected. Second, data backup, error correction, and automated fallover are the examples of the corrective control. Friends, this sentence explain the purpose of corrective control within the context of security measures. Friends, corrective control are designed to address and rectify errors, omissions, unauthorized uses, and intrusions that have been detected. Friends, example of corrective control include data backups, error correction, and automated failover system. Friends, these measures are implemented to respond to identified issues promptly and effectively. Data backup help to recover information in the event of loss or corruption. Error correction mechanism fix mistakes, and automated failover system ensure the continuity of operation in case of the system failure. Friends, corrective control plays a crucial role in minimizing the impact of security incident and restoring normalcy in the face of disruption. Right? Moving next. Next we'll discuss about the time of control effect relative to an incident. Friends, under time of control, the first under this chart we can understand that the first is the deterrent control, second preventive control, and third is the compensating control. Right? Let's understand it. Friends, the phrase time of control effect related to an incident likely refer to the chronological relationship between the implementation of control measures and the occurrence of the security incident. Right? Friends, in a security or a risk management context, the effectiveness of control measures may vary based on when they are applied in relation to an incident. For example, preventive control are implemented to avoid an incident from happening, such as firewall or encryption, right? On the other hand, detective control aim to identify incidents when they occur, like intrusion detection system. Next, corrective control are applied after an incident have been identified to minimize the impact and restore normalcy, such as data backups. Friends, understanding the timing of control effect relative to an incident is crucial for designing a comprehensive and effective security strategy. Friends, it involves considering how different control measures complement each other and contribute to a holistic approach to security and the risk management throughout various stages of an incident life cycle. Right? After this, we'll discuss if the risk is more serious when the risks are more serious, right? So the risk is more serious when first controls are inadequate or non-existent. Friends, the statement risk is more serious when the controls are inadequate or non-existent underscores a fundamental principle in the risk management. It highlights that the level of risk associated with a particular situation become more severe when they are insufficient or completely lacking controls in place. Friends, in the context of risk management, control refer to measures, policies, procedures, or the safeguards that are implemented to mitigate or manage the risk. These controls are designed to prevent, detect, or respond to potential threat or adverse events. Friends, if these controls are inadequate or entirely absent, the organization is left more vulnerable to the risk, negative consequence of the risk. Right? Friends, effectively implemented controls can help to reduce the likelihood and the impact of the risk, providing a layer of protection for the organization. However, when controls are not up to par or entirely missing, the potential for harm or adverse outcome increases, making the risk more serious and harder to manage. Therefore, a key aspect of effective risk management is ensuring that appropriate controls are in place to address identified risk. Right? Next, risk is more serious when the wrong controls are being used. Friends, the statement risk is more serious when the wrong controls are being used emphasize a critical aspect of effective risk management. Friends, if the control implemented are not suitable for the specific risk an organization faces, it can lead to an increased severity of potential negative outcomes. Friends, like in there's we can discuss some examples like ineffectiveness, right, misalignment, right, or resource wastage. Next, risk is more serious when controls are regularly ignored or bypassed. Friends, it highlights a significant challenges in the risk management. If the established control are consistently overlooked or circumvented, it can significantly escalate the seriousness of the potential risk. We can discuss this few examples why this situation can lead to increased risk, right? Because lack of effectiveness, compliance in the legal risk, increased vulnerability, or erosion of the risk culture, right? So, friends, to address these issues, organizations should focus on fostering a strong risk aware culture, emphasizing the importance of compliance with established control. This involves regular training, communication, and monitoring to ensure that controls are not only in place but are also consistently followed and enforced throughout the organization. So, friends, additionally, understanding the reason behind the control avoidance can help the organization to tailor their risk management strategies to be more effective and responsive to the need and concern of their stakeholders. Next, risk is more serious when controls are poorly maintained. Friends, it underscores a crucial aspect of effective risk management. When controls are not adequately maintained, their ability to mitigate risk is compromised, leading to an escalation in the seriousness of the potential negative outcomes. For example, we can say because of decreased effectiveness or increased vulnerability or false sense of security or compliance risk. So, friends, to mitigate these issues, organization should establish a robust system for the regular review, updating, and maintenance of control. This include staying informed about the emerging risk, technology changes, and regulatory requirement. Friends, a regular audit and assessment can help to identify areas where controls may need adjustment or improvement. Friends, fostering a culture of continuous improvement in the risk management practices is essential for maintaining the effectiveness of control over time. Next, risk is more serious when logs of or control data are not reviewed or monitored. Friends, it highlights a critical aspect of the effective risk management. Friends, the logs and the control data generated by the security measures and the system provide valuable insight into the organization's security posture. Friends, when these logs are not regularly reviewed or monitored, it can lead to an escalation in the seriousness of the potential risk. To address these issues, organizations should establish robust log maintenance, management, and monitoring practices. This include implementing automated tools for log analysis, setting up alerts for suspicious activities, and regularly reviewing logs to identify and respond to the potential security incidents promptly. Friends, fostering a proactive and vigilant approach to log review is essential for maintaining a security posture and minimizing the severity of the potential risk. Next, Risk is more serious when controls are not tested on a regular basis or using standardized procedures. Friend, the statement risk is more serious when the controls are not tested on a regular basis or using standardized procedures underscores a key principle in the risk management. Friends, testing control regularly using standardized procedure is essential for ensuring their effectiveness and identifying any weaknesses or vulnerabilities. Vulnerabilities such as uncertainty of effectiveness, failure to identify weakness, or compliance risk. So, to mitigate these all issues, one should establish a systematic or regular testing program for their control. This include conducting vulnerability assessment, penetration testing, and other forms of testing based on standardized procedures. Friends, the result of these tests should inform updates and improvements to the control environment, ensuring that it remains robust and capable of addressing evolving risk. Friends, regular testing is a proactive measure that helps organization to identify and address the potential issues before they lead to serious consequences. Next, risk is more serious when changes to the configuration of the controls are not managed. Friends, when the changes to the configuration of controls are not effectively managed, it can lead to the escalation in the seriousness of the potential risk, such as increased vulnerability, unintended consequences, decreased effectiveness, right? So, to mitigate these issues, organizations should implement a robust change management process for control configuration. This include documenting and tracking changes, conducting risk assessment before implementing, and ensuring that changes are authorized by the appropriate personnel. Friends, regular auditing and monitoring of control configuration are also essential to maintain a secure and compliant environment. Friends, effectively managing changes to control configurations is a proactive measure that helps to prevent unintended consequences and strengthen the overall risk management framework. And at last, risk is more serious when duties are inadequately segregated. Friends, this highlights a significant risk management principle related to the internal controls within an organizations. Friends, when duties are not properly segregated, it can lead to an escalation in the seriousness of the potential risk. So, to mitigate these issues, organizations should establish and enforce a system of adequate segregation of duties. Friends, it involves defining and assigning a responsibility in a way that prevent a single individual from having control over too many aspects of a process or system. Friends, regular review and audit should be conducted to ensure ongoing compliance with segregation of duty policies. This proactive approach helps to prevent and detect potential risk associated with the internal control deficiencies. Right? Next, we'll discuss about the control standards and framework. Under the control standards and framework, the first point it states that about the adoption of standards and framework facilitate the process of selecting control. Friends, this paragraph highlights the role of adopting standards and the framework in simplifying the process of selecting control. Let's break it down. The first statement, that is adoption of the standard and framework, it refers to the implementation and utilization of established guidelines, rules, or the framework within an organization. Friends, standard and framework often provide a structured and widely accepted set of principles or practices for specific domains such as cybersecurity or quality management. Next, it states about the it facilitate the process of selecting control. Friends, this statement, the main point here is that by adopting these standards and framework, organizations make the process of selecting controls easier. Friends, control in this context are measure of or a safeguard, right? That put in place to manage and mitigate the risk. So these could include security control or financial control or any other mechanism designed to protect and enhance the various aspects of the organization. Let's understand with the help of an example. Friends, consider a company that want to enhance its information security. So instead of developing security control from the scratch, the company decide to adopt the ISO oblique 27000 standard, which is widely recognized by the information security management. So by doing so, the organization can leverage the comprehensive set of control provided by ISO oblique IEC 27001 framework. This include control related to the access management, data encryption and incident response. Friends, the adoption of this standard streamlines the selection process as the organization can rely on the established controls specified in the framework rather than creating them anew. So to summarize this, we can say that adopting standards and the framework provide a structured and recognized foundation for organizations, making it easier for them to select and implement controls, especially in the area such as security, quality, and other domains where specific guidelines are crucial for effective risk management and governance. Next, under the control standard, standards are written with the intent that adopting organizations will certify formal compliance. Friends, this statement emphasizes the purpose of standards, specifically that they are crafted with the expectations that organizations adopting them will seek and achieve the formal compliance. So in this, the first word is the standards, right? Friends, as per the control standards, the standards word, what is written in the second point, it establishes the set of criteria, oblique guidelines, or the practices that are designed to ensure consistency, quality, and adherence to the specific requirement in the various fields such as industry, technology, or security. Next, intent that adopting organization. Intent of adopting, right? Friends, the adopting standard is to have organizations follow and implement the specified guidelines within their operations. Next, certify formal compliance. Friends, the ultimate goal of adopting standards is to achieve formal compliance. This involves organizations demonstrating that they meet the requirement outlined in the standards through a formal certification process. Friends, certification is often conducted by a third party entity to ensure objectivity and impartiality. Let's understand this point with the help of an example. Friends, consider a manufacturing company in the food industry that adopt the ISO 9001 standard, which focuses on the quality management. Friends, the company decides to implement the quality control measures outlined in the standards throughout its production process. So, after successfully integrating these measures, the organization undergoes a formal audit by a certification body. So, if the company demonstrate that it has effectively implemented the quality management system according to the ISO standard, it can receive the formal certification, indicating compliance with the standard requirement, right? So, to overall, we can say that this statement suggests that the standards are created with the expectation that organizations will formally certify the compliance, providing a tangible and recognized indication that they adhere to the specified guidelines and the best practices outlined in the standard. Right? Coming to the next point. The next point states the 27,000 series of standards from the International Standard Organization focuses on information security with ISO oblique IC 27002 is to 18 dealing specifically with security control. Friends, this statement provides the information about ISO 27000 series of standard, which is dedicated to the information security, and highlights about the ISO oblique IEC 27002 is to 18 focus on the security control. Let's understand and let's break it down. The first about the 27,000 series. Friends, this refers to the family of standard developed by the International Organization for Standardization that specifically address information security management system. Next, it focuses on the information security. Friends, the primary theme of ISO 27000 series is information security. This means that the standards within these series provide guidelines and the best practices for organization to establish, implement, maintain, and continually improve their information security management system. Right? Next, this statement has discussed about the ISO oblique IAC 27002 is to 18. Friends, we all know that the 27002 is to 18 focuses specifically on the security control. In the context of information security, controls are measures or safeguards implemented to manage and mitigate the risk. This can include technical control such as firewall or encryption, or procedural control such as access policies, and third, that is organization control such as security training program. Let's understand this with the help of an example. Friends, consider a financial institution aiming to enhance its information security. So the organization decides to adopt ISO oblique IAC 27002 is to 18 to establish the security control. Friends, this standard provides a comprehensive set of guidelines for implementing various security controls, ensuring that the organization addresses key aspects of information security such as access control, data protection, and incident response. So to summarize this, the statement indicates that the ISO 27000 series, particularly ISO 27002 is to 18, is tailored for the information security with the specific emphasis on security controls. Friends, organizations can use these standards as a reference to implement the effective measures to secure their information assets. Next, many industries have also have standards for security within their respective sector. Friends, many industries indeed develop and adhere to the specific security standards tailored to their unique need and challenges. Friends, these industry specific security standards help the organization within a particular sector establish a baseline for security practices and ensure compliance with the regulatory requirement. Just for an example, we can discuss about the healthcare industry. Friends, the healthcare industry often follows standards such as Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act in the United States. Friends, Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act set the standards for protecting sensitive patient data. Right? Friends, to provide a framework for implementing security control, managing risk, and ensuring the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of sensitive information. Compliance of these standards may often mandatory and may be subject to the regulatory oversight. Next, under the control standards, for instances, the payment card industry data security standards is used by all organizations that process debit or credit card. Friends, the payment card industry data security standard is a prime example of an industry specific standards that plays a crucial role in ensuring the security of payment card transaction. As such, let's discuss in more detail. The first word, that is PCI DSS overview, that is payment card industry and data security standards overview. Friends, PCI DSS is a set of security standards designed to ensure that all companies that accept, process, store, or transmit credit card information maintain a secure environment. It was established by major credit card companies including Visa, MasterCard, American Express, etc. Next, we'll discuss about the security requirement. Friends, payment card industry data security standards outline a set of security requirement and best practices to safeguard cardholder data. These requirements include the measures such as encryption, access control, regular security assessment, and monitoring of the network infrastructure. Right? Friends, that is payment card industry data security standard serve as a critical standards for organizations involved in the payment card transactions, helping to ensure the security and integrity of sensitive cardholder data. It provides a comprehensive framework for implementing security measures and is a key component in maintaining trust in electronic payment system. Next, similar standards are found in the healthcare, accounting, audit, and telecommunication industries. Friends, various industries have to be established standards to address the specific challenges and regulatory requirement. Example, healthcare, accounting, audit, and telecommunication industry. Let's discuss it one by one. First, we'll discuss about the healthcare industry. Under the healthcare industry, the standards in the United States that we have already discussed, that is about the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, focuses on safeguarding the privacy and security of patient health information. It set forth requirement for healthcare providers, health plans, and healthcare clearing houses to protect sensitive health data. Next, about the accounting and audit industry. Friends, enacted the aftermath of financial scandals, that is Sarbanes-Oxley Act, is a US law that establishes standards for public company boards, management, and the public accounting firm. It aims to protect investors and improve the accuracy of corporate disclosures. Next, about the telecommunication industry. Friends, European Telecommunication Standards Institute developed the global communication standards, including those related to the information security. These standards ensures interoperability and security in the rapidly evolving and telecommunication industry. Friends, each of these standards plays a crucial role in establishing best practices, ensuring compliance, and enhancing the overall security and reliability of the system and processes within their respective industries. Friends, compliance with these standards not only help the organization to mitigate the risk but also build the trust among the stakeholders by demonstrating a commitment to security, transparency, and accountability. Next, standards may be supplemented or even superseded by law or regulations in some location. Friends, while industry standards provide the important framework for the best practices and guidelines, they can be complemented or supplemented or even superseded by the laws and regulations, depending on the legal and regulatory landscape of a particular location, such as complementary nature. Friends, in many cases, industry standards are designed to complement legal and regulatory requirement. They provide specific guidance on how organizations can meet or exceed those requirements, offering a practical and standardized approach to implementation, right? In this superstanding standards, superseding standards, right? In some instances, laws and regulations may directly address a subject covered by an industry standards. In such cases, the legal requirement take precedence, superseding the industry standards. This could happen if the legal requirement are more stringent or if the standards is considered insufficient to address the certain regulatory goals. For example, in the healthcare sector, Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act standard is complemented and supplemented by the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act in the United States. Friends, Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act in the United States federal law that establishes privacy and the security standards for protecting the health information, right? Friends, the relationship between industry and standards and the laws and the regulations is often one of the collaboration and alignment. Friends, industry standards provide the detailed guidance while laws and regulations set mandatory requirement. The legal and the regulatory framework can both leverage and when necessary override industry standards to ensure a comprehensive and enforceable approach to various issues including security, privacy and compliance. Next, in some cases, organization may choose to adopt standards without intending to formally certify the compliance. Friends, organizations often choose to adopt standards of various reasons even if they don't pursue formal certification, such as best practices and the guidance, or regulatory alignment, or tailoring to the specific needs, right? Friends, in essence, adopting standard without formal certification allow organization to leverage the knowledge and structure provided by the standards without necessarily committing to the formal audit process. It provides flexibility while still promoting adherence to established best practices and the guidelines. Next, we'll discuss about the framework. Friends, under the framework, the first point states that the standards may also include or supported by the framework which provide set of fundamental controls. Friends, standards and the framework often go hand in hand, with framework providing structured set of fundamental controls that organizations can implement to meet the requirement outlined in the standards, right? We all know what is standards and a framework. Let's discuss once again to make it more clear. Under the standards, we all know that standards are the established set of criteria and the guidelines or the practices that define the best practices and the requirement in a particular domain. They provide a reference point for organizations to ensure consistency, quality, and compliance within that domain. Similarly, under the framework, we can say that the framework, on the other hand, are the structured set of practices or the guidelines that help the organization to achieve the specific objective. Right? Friends, they are often more flexible and adaptable than the standards, providing a foundation that can be customized based on the organization size, industry, and the specific need. Friends, standards may outline high level principles and the requirement while framework provide the practical mean to implement those principles. For example, a security standard may specify that the organization should have control in place to manage the access to the sensitive data, right? Next, the US National Institute of Standards and Technology maintain a published cybersecurity framework. Friends, the US National Institute of Standards and Technology maintain a published cybersecurity framework, right? Here, we can discuss about additional information about the National Institute of Standards and Technology cybersecurity framework, right? Like purpose of the framework, right? What is the purpose of the framework? Friends, the National Institute of Standards and Technology security framework is designed to help the organization manage and improve the cybersecurity risk and the management process. It provides a flexible and voluntary framework that can be customized to the specific need and the risk profile of an organization, right? Friends, the National Institute of Standards and Technology is designed to complement other cybersecurity standards and the best practices, right? Organizations often integrate with the existing framework or standards such as ISO/IEC 27001 or the COBIT to enhance their overall cybersecurity posture, right? To summarize this, we can say that the National Institute of Standards and Technology cybersecurity framework is widely recognized and respected resources that provide organizations with a structured approach to managing and improving their cybersecurity risk posture, right? So its flexibility and voluntary nature make it a valuable tool for organizations seeking to enhance their cybersecurity practices, right? Third, even within the United States, CSF voluntary guidance, however, organizations around the world use it as a source for leading practices when developing their cybersecurity program. Friends, this statement accurately captures the nature of the National Institute of Standards and Technology cybersecurity framework. While it is indeed voluntary guidance within the United States, its influences extends globally as the organization around the world often turn to it as a valuable sources for leading cybersecurity. Right? Under this, the voluntary nature which states is not a regulatory requirement in the United States. Instead, it is offered as a voluntary guidance for the National Institute of Standards and Technology. Friends, organizations can choose to adopt and implement the framework based on their specific needs and the cybersecurity risk management objectives. Right? Friends, the National Institute of Standards and Technology is often regarded as a source of leading a cybersecurity practice. Its framework, structure, core function, and emphasis on the risk management provide organization with a comprehensive and flexible model for improving their cybersecurity posture. Right? Friends, many organizations integrate their National Institute of Standards and Technology with other cybersecurity standards and framework. For example, it can be used in conjunction with the international standards like ISO/IEC 27001 or industry specific regulations to enhance the overall cybersecurity practices, right? Friends, so that is National Institute of Standards and Technology cybersecurity framework serve as a valuable global resources offering practical guidance for organizations looking to strengthen their cybersecurity program. Its voluntary nature and adaptability make it a widely utilized tool in the international cybersecurity landscape. Next, similar, the Cloud Security Alliance has built a control framework tailored to the operational and the security requirement of the cloud computing. Friends, this statement accurately describes the Cloud Security Alliance contribution to the cloud of field security. Friends, the Cloud Security Alliance has developed a control framework specifically tailored to address the unique operational and security challenges associated with the cloud computing, such as Cloud Security Alliance. Friends, the Cloud Security Alliance is a non-profit organization that focuses on prompting the use of best practices for providing the security assurance within the cloud computing. Right? Next, about the operational and security requirement. Friends, the cloud control matrix is structured to address both operational and security requirement specific to the cloud computing. Right? Friends, the Cloud Security Alliance Cloud Matrix provides a comprehensive control framework tailored to the unique context of the cloud computing. It serves as a valuable resource for organizations seeking to assess and enhance the security of their cloud environment, offering guidance on the best practices and the risk management in the cloud. Friends, moving further ahead, let's discuss about the administrative, technical, and the physical control. Coming to the first, that is about the administrative control. Friends, administrative control, also known as the manager control, it includes oversight, reporting, procedures, and the operation of the processes, typically performed by the humans. Friends, administrative control are managerial in the nature and involve oversight, reporting, and the day-to-day operation of a process. The points which has been shown in the video is we have highlighted in the administrative control is about the nature of oversight, right? Friends, administrative control are associated with the management and the supervision of processes, right? They involve human driven activities rather than automated processes, right? Similarly, it includes human involvement also, which states that the administrative control are typically carried out by the people, emphasizing the importance of human judgment in the executing this control. So to summarize, we can say that the administrative control play a crucial role in managing the risk by providing managerial oversight and operational guidance, right? They involve a range of activities aimed at ensuring compliance, maintaining effective processes, and developing employees. The reliance on the human judgment underscored the need for well-informed and thoughtful decision making in the implementation and the execution of administrative controls. Right? Moving next. Next we'll discuss about the technical control, also known as the logical control. Technical control provided by the use of technology and the equipment or devices, which includes firewall, intrusion detection system, and passwords, and it requires proper administrative control. Friends, technical controls involve the use of the digital technology, equipment, and the device or to safeguard the network, right? The few points which has been highlighted is about the logical control, which states in terms of technical control, it states that the technical control are implemented through the digital technology and are often referred as the logical controls. The focus on using digital means to protect the information system and the data. Some of the few examples which what we have discussed is about the technical control is the text provided the example of technical controls including firewalls, network, or host-based intrusion detection system. Friends, these controls are designed to prevent, detect, or mitigate the cybersecurity threats. Next, dependency on the administrative control. In this text, it notes that the technical control require proper administrative control to operate correctly. This emphasizes the need for the effective management and oversight to ensure the proper functioning of the technical safeguards. Right? Friends, technical control play a crucial role in cybersecurity by leveraging the digital technology to protect against the various threats. The integration of administrative control is essential for their effective operation and the recognition of potential vulnerabilities highlighted the need for a comprehensive approach to the security that include both digital and the physical security measures. Moving next we'll discuss about the physical control. Friends, physical control are focused on restricting the physical access to the specific devices, rooms, or facilities, such as shown in the slide, that the physically installed device used to restrict access to a facility or hardware. The text provides the example of physical control, including lock, fences, or the security guard and monitoring device like CCTV cameras. Friends, these controls interact with the physical environment to enhance the security, right? There are some scope of restrictions also, like the physical controls are applied to a device room or entire facilities, indicating the broad range of application from the securing individual items to the entire physical spaces, right? So in summarize, we can say that the physical control play a crucial role in securing physical space and assets, and they encompasses a variety of measures designed to restrict access and enhance the overall physical security of devices, rooms, or facilities. The emphasis on maintenance, monitoring, and responsiveness underscore the dynamic nature of physical security requirement in the real world environment. Moving next we'll discuss about the capability maturity model. Friends, a capability maturity model delineates a progressive journey of enhancement leading from initially haphazard and underdeveloped procedure to a well-ordered and a sophisticated process characterized by the heightened quality and the effectiveness. As shown in the slide, it describes an evolutionary improvement path from ad hoc, immature process to disciplined, mature process with improved quality and effectiveness. At the outset, organization may operate in an ad hoc manner, lacking structured methodologies and relying on the spontaneous approaches. Friends, as they advances along the maturity continuum, there is a discernible shift toward a more disciplined framework marked by the establishment of the standardized processes and methodologies. Friends, this evolution is underscored by an increased emphasis on quality and efficiency, reflecting a commitment to continuous improvement. For instance, a software development may begin with the ad hoc coding practices, but through the implementation of capability maturity model, progressively adopt the systematic progress processes, resulting in a more reliable and efficient software products. Friends, this overarching goal is to cultivate a culture of maturity within an organization, right? Fostering sustained excellence and at last adaptability in the face of evolving challenges. Next, in capability maturity model, it set the realistic long-term goal for the risk management by having a clear understanding of the current maturity. Friends, by leveraging the guidance of the maturity model, the enterprise gain a valuable tool to establish the realistic long-term goal for their risk and management endeavors. Friends, the maturity model provides a structured framework that allows the organization to assess and comprehend their current state of maturity in the risk management. This clearly understanding serves as a foundation stepping stone for setting achievable and the realistic long-term objectives. Through the stages delineated in the maturity model, ranging from initial and ad hoc processes to the discipline and the mature practices, enterprise can pinpoint their current position on the maturity continuum. Friends, this identification is instrumental in informing strategic planning and the goal setting. Let's, for example, if an organization discovers that it operates at a lower maturity level with more and ad hoc risk management processes, It can aspire to progress through the stages by implementing structured methodologies and cultivating a culture of continuous improvement. Right? So the maturity model thus act as a roadmap providing a trajectory for advancement. Right? As the organization evolves along the maturity continuum, these goals can be adjusted and refined, ensuring a dynamic and responsive risk management strategy that align with the ever-changing landscape of risk and challenges. Next, it compared the state of the enterprise risk management program to an established model of capability maturity. Friends, in assessing the efficacy of an enterprise risk management program, the risk practitioner may find valuable insight by juxtaposing its current state with a recognized model of capability maturity. Friends, this comparative analysis serves as a strategic lens, offering a structured framework to gauge the maturity and effectiveness of the organization risk management process. Much like the stage outlined in the capability maturity model, ranging from ad hoc to the discipline and mature process, evaluating an enterprise risk management maturity can reveal the important area of improvement and optimization. For instance, we can say that if the organization risk management process practices align with the more ad hoc approaches, the practitioner may recommend adopting systematic methodology to enhance the program overall maturity. Right? Conversely, a comparison against a maturity model could highlight the area of strength and excellence, and that can be leveraged further. Friends, this systematic evaluation not only facilitates a clear understanding of the current risk state of the risk management within the enterprise, but also provide a roadmap for progressive enhancement, ultimately contributing to the development of a robust and the resilient risk management program. Next, for under the capability maturity model, it following the defined reliable processes allow the enterprise to prevent, detect, and recover rapidly from the incidents. Friends, a maturity enterprise characterized by a well establishment of a well defined and reliable processes exhibit a consistent and a continuous commitment to the improvement. This steadfast dedication significantly enhances the organization's ability to prevent incident, detect them at the earlier stage, and swiftly recover from any disruption. So the clarity and the stability inherent in mature processes contribute to a proactive approach to the risk management. So by having established framework and protocols, the enterprise is better equipped to identify and address potential issues before they escalate into the incidents. Right? For example, in the context of cybersecurity, a mature organization with a well-defined security protocol is more adept at preventing cyber threats, detecting unusual activities, and recovering the swift from any security breaches. Moving next, under the capability maturity model, it consistently applies policies and procedures to drive improvement in efficiency and effectiveness of the risk management capability. Friends, consistently applying policies and procedures serve as a linchpin in the propelling improvement in the efficiency and effectiveness of the risk management capabilities. This steadfast adherence to established guidelines create a structured framework that not only ensures a uniform approach to the risk management but also cultivates a culture of continuous enhancement. Right? So friends, by consistently following the predefined policies, an organization can streamline its operation or reduce ambiguity and enhance the predictability of the outcome. Furthermore, the routine application of procedure allowed for the identification of areas ripe for the improvement. Friends, this iterative approach to the risk management foster a proactive stance enabling the organization to evolve and strengthen its capability continuously, right? For example, in the context of financial risk management, a company that consistently applies policies and the procedures related to the risk assessment and mitigation is better positioned to optimize its strategies, respond promptly to the market fluctuations, and enhance overall effectiveness of its risk management practices. This commitment to consistency forms the bedrock for a resilient and adaptive risk management framework, prompting ongoing improvement in both efficiency and effectiveness. Right? Let's discuss about the next, that is about the control design selection and analysis. Under the control design selection analysis, the first is about the current state assessment. Under current state assessment, when designing control, the first step is to be aware of the current state of the control environment using the result of control testing activities and the incident management program. Friends, in the process of designing control, the initial and the crucial step involving gaining awareness of the existing control environment, the risk practitioner plays a pivotal role in this phase by addressing the current state of IT risk. So, this evaluation is informed by the outcome of control testing activities and the insight garnered from the incident management program. Right? Friends, control testing activities involve systematically examining and evaluating the effectiveness of the existing control within an organization IT infrastructure. Through this assessment, the risk practitioner can identify and strengthen or weaknesses and potential gaps in the control framework. So this understanding is paramount for designing control that address specific vulnerabilities and enhance the overall risk management. Right? Friends, simultaneously, insight from the incident management program contribute valuable information to the assessment of the control environment. So friends, by combining the result of control testing activities with the observation from incident management program, the risk practitioner forms a comprehensive understanding of the current state of the control environment. Right? So this knowledge forms the foundation of thoughtful and the target design of controls, ensuring that they are tailored by the organization's specific risk and challenges, and this iterative nature of the process allow the continuous improvement, adapting control to evolving threat and maintaining a proactive stance in the managing the IT risk. Next, the current state refer to the condition of a program at a point in time. Use regular review to determine the state of over a defined time frame. Friends, the current state assessment provide an evaluation of condition of a program at a specific point in time, which offering a snapshot of the risk landscape as it exists during the measurement. Friends, it is important to note that this assessment is inherently time bound and should be considered accurately only at a moment when the risk state is measured, right? So the accuracy of the assessment is contingent of the conditions, control and the circumstances prevailing at that specific point in the time, right? Friends, the current state assessment acts as a foundational baseline and its value is further enhanced through the iterative and the systematic reviews that provide a dynamic understanding of the program risk posture over time. So this cyclical approach allows the organization to adapt their risk management strategies to changing circumstances and maintaining a proactive stances in addressing the potential risk. Next, under the current state assessments are essential because they provide the reference point to understand the gap between the current and the desired state. Friends, understanding the current risk level is crucial because they serve as a reference point, right? Offering a baseline to assess the disparity between the present state of the risk and the desired state. So this comparison is instrumental in the risk management, helping organizations to identify gaps and vulnerabilities and the area of improvement. Friends, the current risk level essentially provides a snapshot of the organization risk posture at a specific point in time. For example, if the current risk level are found to be higher than the desired state, it signals a potential need for strengthened control, revised policies, or additional risk mitigation measures. So conversely, if the current risk level are significantly lower than the desired state, it may indicate that the certain risk management measures are more robust than necessary, potentially allowing for the resource optimization. So in essence, the understanding of the current risk level provides a practical and actionable perspective, right? Friends, it guides decision makers in allocating resources, prioritizing the risk management effort, and implementing targeted interventions to bring the organization closer to its desired risk state. Right? Friends, regular assessment and adjustment based on their insight contribute to a dynamic and an effective risk management strategy. Next, it investigates the gap to determine the reason and to identify workable solutions that may address the disparity. Friends, exploring the gap between the current and the desired risk state is imperative, necessitating a thorough investigation to uncover its underlying reasons and identify the viable solutions. Right? Friends, the investigation into the gap involves the comprehensive analysis of the various elements, such as existing risk management practices, control effectiveness, or external and the internal factors influencing the risk. So, friends, by delving into these factors, organization can pinpoint the root cause of disparity and gain the insight into why the current risk level diverge from the desired state. And once the reason behind the gap are identified, the focus shifts to the developing the workable solution. The solution may encompass a range of actions, including refining risk management processes, enhancing controls, or implementing the new technologies. For example, if the investigation reveals that the specific department lacks sufficient training on the risk management practices, a solution might involve targeted training program to improve the awareness and the compliance. Right? Friends, alternatively, if the outdated technology is identified as a contributing factor, a solution may involve investigating an updated system to bolster the organization resilience. Friends, it enables the organization to address the root cause of the gap, fostering a more resilient and adaptive risk management framework that align with the organization's goal and aspirations. Moving next, an alternative to the requesting an audit to obtain a copy of a recent audit report and use it as a starting point for self assessment to identify any changes in the environment. Friends, an alternative to the initiating a new audit is to acquire a copy of a recent audit report and leverage it as a foundation for conducting the self assessment. Right? Friends, using an existing audit report as a starting point offers several advantages, such as primarily serving as a reference document that outline the organization compliance, controls, and the potential area for improvement as identified by the external auditors. Friends, by undertaking the self-assessment based on the existing audit report, organizations can systematically evaluate their current state in alignment with the prior audit findings. So this approach enables the internal team to identify any changes, updates, or modifications in the operational environment since the last audit. For example, if the previous audit report highlighted the specific control weaknesses or compliance issues, the self-assessment can focus on the verifying the implementation of recommended improvement and ensuring ongoing compliance. On the other hand, if there have been changes in the organization environment, such as the introduction of new processes or technologies, the self assessment can pinpoint how these alterations may impact the risk and control framework. Right? So, in Asians, utilizing a recent audit report for self assessment purpose allow the organization to build upon the external audit insight and encourages a continuous improvement mindset. It facilitates a systematic review of control, compliance, and the risk management practices, enabling organization to adapt to evolving circumstances and maintaining a proactive approach to governance. Moving next, we'll discuss about the control design and selection. Under the control design and selection, once a shortcoming of existing control understood, next step is to design control to close gap between the current state and the acceptable level of risk. Friends, after identifying the specific shortcomings of existing control and configurations, the subsequent step involve designing or selecting controls or enhancement to address and close the gap between the current state and an acceptable level of risk. This process is crucial for fortifying the organization's risk management framework and ensuring alignment with its risk tolerance and objectives. For example, if the assessment revealed vulnerability in the cybersecurity due to outdated software, the organization might design a control that involve implementing regular software updates and the patches. Similarly, if human error is identified as a significant risk factor, enhanced training program could be selected as a control measure to improve the awareness and adherence to the established protocols. Friends, the goal is to choose or create control that not only address the specific shortcomings identified but also contribute to an overall risk management strategy. Ultimately, the design or selection of the control represent a proactive approach to the risk management, aiming to strengthen the organization resilience, minimize vulnerabilities, and foster a culture or a continuous improvement in managing the risk effectively. Next, an effective control is the one that prevent, detect, or contain an incident or enable recovery from a risk event. However, the purpose of a control is to reduce the risk to an acceptable level. Friends, indeed every enterprise employ a control as a fundamental component of the risk management. In the broad sense, an effective control is the one that serves to prevent, detect, or contain an incident or a facilities that recovery from a risk event. Right? Friends, controls are diverse and can encompass a range of measures such as policies, procedures, technological safeguards, training program, and more. So friends, while primary function of the control involve preventing, detecting and mitigating risk, it is crucial to emphasize that the ultimate purpose of the control is to maintain the risk at an acceptable level. Right? In other words, controls are implemented with the specific goal or aligning the organization risk exposure with its predefined risk tolerance and the risk appetite. Right? Friends, to summarize this, we can say that the control play a vital role in the risk management by preventing, detecting, and mitigating the risk, but their overarching purpose is to ensure the organizations operate within acceptable risk boundaries that align with the broader objective of achieving a balance between the risk and the reward in the pursuit of the organization goal. Right? Next, when design is the intent, the risk practitioner should not consider not only functionality but also the maintenance and sustainment. Whether control will be automated or manual, fail-safe or the secure, or provide input to the other controls or the processes are all factors that should be considered. Friends, in the realm of designed focus endeavors, the conscientious risk practitioner must extend their considerations beyond mere the functionality delving into the realm of maintenance and the sustainability. Friends, this involves a comprehensive assessment of various factors such as mode of the control implementation, whether automated or the manual. Friends, furthermore, the practitioner must navigate the dichotomy between the fail-safe and the secure control, each with the distinct implication for the risk management. Additionally, the practitioner must scrutinize the potential for control to serve as input to other interconnected control or the processes. Friends, this multifaceted approach ensures that the design not only meet its intended purpose but also align with the broader concern of efficiency, resilience and adaptability. Right? Friends, these examples underscore the significance of the risk practitioner consideration in shaping the design that not only function effectively but also endures and contribute to sustainable and maintainable systems. Next, designer should also understand throughput or speed requirement of associated or affected processes to ensure that any delay or impediment to regular processing remain within the tolerable level. Friends, in the realm of design, it is imperative for the designer to possess a profound comprehension of the throughput or speed requisite intrinsic to the associated or affected processes. This understanding became instrumental in guaranteeing that any potential delay or hindrances to routine processing fall within the acceptable and the tolerable limits. So by integrating this awareness into the design processes, designer can proactively address the need for optimal speed and efficiency in the broader context of interconnected processes. For example, in the design of an outline transactions system, designer must be accurately aware of the speed requirement associated with the payment processing to ensure seamless and the timely transactions for the users. Right? Similarly, in the context of manufacturing, a designer tasked with developing a production line must consider the throughput requirement of each component to prevent the bottlenecks that could impede the overall manufacturing processes. These examples illustrate the vital role for understanding throughput or speed requirement in design, highlighting the necessity for designers to harmonize their creation with the operational demand of the interconnected processes, thus ensuring the smooth and efficient functioning of the overall system. Friends, here we come to the end of part 4 domain 3 presented by ISACA Preparation Academy. Friends, please do subscribe and stay tuned for more updates. Thank you.